Okay, so good morning, everybody. We are having some technical difficulties with going live, which is fine. So we are going to record today, and very excited to have everybody here. Um, as most of you know, I'm Tim DeSutter, and I really appreciate everybody being here today. What we're going to go through this week are some techniques around vibrational or energetic grounding. And for a lot of us, I know there's a lot of body workers on the call today. And for some of you, you're really familiar with how to create a physical reality of being embodied. And what we're going to cover this week are some techniques where we can step more into being vibrationally embodied. And what this can do is a myriad of things. It can help us to have a greater understanding of what's coming at us in the world, of uncovering maybe some messages that we're receiving or ways that we're interacting with the world. But it can also allow us to step into a more satisfying, subtle, relaxing state as we go through the day. And with that, as a few more people join in, and thanks for being here, welcome, Kaki. What I'm going to do is invite you guys today to allow yourself to practice with an open mind. Okay, we're going to be going over some things that are probably new to many of you, and with that, a lot of this takes practice. For some of you, this may be exercise that you've never engaged in before, and I'm really excited to walk you through that. What I'd like you to imagine is that your physical body is about maybe 1/8 the size of your total energetic structure. And when I talk about energetic structure, sometimes people might call that a light body or a vibrational body. Whatever the words are for you that you identify, I encourage you to use those terms. And in this greater body, just like we have inside our physical bodies, we have a lot of anatomy. An anatomy that oftentimes we don't pay attention to in our day-to-day unless we need to. So just like for many of us, if I asked you what your respiratory rate was, or how your liver was doing, or how aligned your spine might be, for many of us, unless we've paid attention to such things, we wouldn't really have an understanding of that. Wouldn't be able to say how our liver was doing or what our blood pressure was at this point. However, if we were having a challenge and we were really paying attention to what was going on in the body, we'd probably be able to speak to that more clearly. So your vibrational body works in much the same way. As we pay attention to more of our subtle anatomy, as we pay attention to parts of ourselves that may have gone unnoticed or overlooked during the course of our life, or even for periods of time, as we pay more attention to that, we start to understand a little bit more and start to be able to consciously interact with what we're usually unconsciously interacting with. In our vibrational body, just like our internal systems, if something's off, it's going to impact our day-to-day. So if somebody was having a heart problem, it would impact their physicality. If somebody was experiencing disturbance in their energetic vibration, it's going to impact their consciousness in their physical body as well. So today's practice is going to be three things. We're going to have a few minutes to drop in. We're going to practice some breathing exercises. And also I'm going to encourage sounding exercises. Many of the techniques that we're going to be using work better with sound. And for some of you on the phone who we know are singers and who are people who express yourself in the world on a regular basis using your voice, I'm going to encourage you to use your voice, use your sound, whatever you need. Nobody's going to hear it because you're all on mute. But when we use our breath and we use our sound, what we're able to do is activate what I look at as the human tuning fork. So I look at the physical body literally as a tuning fork. And as we become more embodied, we can attract information that we're looking for. We're able to express to the world what we're looking to get out to them as a message on a more regular basis and in an easier way. If you're not on mute, I'm going to ask that you please do mute for the call, and we can unmute at the end of the session. Thank you. So today we're going to look at three things. We're going to look at our breath. We're going to look at what what many refer to as our vibrational roots. And we're going to look at grounding our vibrational tail. So many traditions will look at what we call the three-legged stool. This idea that we are grounded vibrationally on three legs of a stool. Those three legs being the roots that come out of our feet vibrationally, that go down and sink down underneath us and actually allow us to be in greater communication with the world. And then, of course, that third leg that comes out of the base of our spine, which some call the tail, and this is the anchor point. So what I'm going to do is encourage you all to get comfortable in your seats. If you're comfortable, to close your eyes. And just thinking about why you're here. Opening up to the possibility that today you may be able to engage in a part of yourself that is waiting to be recognized. Engaging in the possibility that today you may experience an aspect of what's divine within you. And that today, even if just for the purposes of this call, you might be able to find periods of peace and calm and groundedness. So inviting you all to make physical adjustments to feel comfortable in your seat. Your eyes are closed, that's great. If you want to plant in front of you, that's invited as well. And just taking some nice deep breaths in through the nose, filling your lower belly and letting that air out through your mouth. We'll do about 6 or 7 of these, just allowing yourself to deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. Perhaps there's a sound that would like to come out. And just allowing yourself to really drop in this moment into this place. Breathing deeply again in through your nose. And perhaps a sigh. Noticing if you're able to let out sound, what that does for you, where it comes from. And just allowing your breath to find a place of relaxation, recognizing that the same breath that you're breathing shares the air with the winds on the mountains, with all of the winds of the world. Your body is made of the same stuff as everything here on earth. And just breathing, feeling structured in your seats. Feet are flat on the floor. Perhaps being aware of whatever sounds may be around you. Whatever emotions may be present today. And just allowing for the very real fact that everything is perfect in this moment. As you breathe and relax and step into this sense of peace and calm, recognizing that there's a part of you that's been waiting for this moment. Bring your awareness to the top of your head. And just experiencing your head, feeling the weight of your skull as it sits upon your neck. Being aware of your eyes, behind your eyes, beginning to scan down into your physical body. Feeling your mouth and your tongue, Maybe moving that tongue around in your mouth a little bit. Continuing to breathe, letting it out any sounds or sighs that are looking to come out. Perhaps you don't have the words for what wants to come out. That's perfect. Allowing your awareness to drop down into the backside of your neck, feeling your shoulders, the front of your neck, the round of your shoulders, feeling this awareness dropping down your arms. Using your breath, on the out breath, following your awareness down your physical body, from your shoulders to the tips of your fingers. Perhaps you notice a difference in weight, difference in emotion, all is welcome. Being aware of your spine, allowing that awareness to drop down, this beautiful spine. Being aware of your chest, your heart space, feeling the strength of your bones, beautiful fluidity of circulation within you. Being aware of your hips, your lower belly, and your gut. Using your breath, and on the out breath, bringing your awareness down, feeling the sides of your hips, the tops of your legs, the round of your knees, all the way down, right to the bottom of your feet. Just being aware of your body. Using your breath, breathing deeply in through your nose, out through your mouth, allowing any sounds that want to come out. Allowing for whatever peace and calm has been trying to find its way to you, to become true and real, right here, right now, in this perfect time. And as you breathe and listen to your body, I invite you to become aware of the bottoms of your feet. Perhaps even offering a little massage a little higher up, maybe massaging the tops of your knees if that feels good. Really being aware of the bottoms of your feet and imagining, seeing, experiencing whatever's right for you. Roots. Roots of embodiment. Roots that your unconscious mind is very aware of, and perhaps your conscious mind is aware of as well. Roots of energetic embodiment that normally travel down through the bottoms of your feet and anchor in your greater energetic body below your physical body. And just taking note of any shifts in emotion or mind. And even thinking about this, being aware of this may bring to mind. And in this, allowing for the idea that a greater sense of embodiment is possible to you. Being aware of the rounds in the middle of your feet. Just with a nice deep out breath. Imagining on your out breath and maybe even using your hands that you can push those roots down And you might even say out loud, roots go down. For me, I like to use sound. A sound that works for me is a deep resonant sound to push those roots down, almost 10 feet below my feet. On my out breath, pushing them down. Repeating this process. If you feel any tension in your knees or your thighs or your ankles, perhaps these roots have come up. And you can give them encouragement, stroking your legs in a downward motion. This is your practice. So if it helps to massage your legs, to move your toes, just repeating out loud again, roots down, using your breath to send those down. These roots connect into a place in your energetic anatomy that sends your messages out to the world. This is a place where we broadcast a desire for connection, where we broadcast intention. For a variety of reasons, these roots often will rise up and disconnect. Giving yourself permission to allow these roots to drop. Breathing in, roots down. Really using that breath to anchor. Very good. Very good. Whatever amount these roots are able to anchor is perfectly perfect in this moment. If you find yourself distracted in this process, just bringing yourself back to a place of allowing. Noticing any sensations, any feelings, any restlessness or resistance. All are welcome. And from this place, being aware of our physical body and all of its wonder and splendor, having an experience of our roots deep down out of our feet like the mother tree on the mountain. Bringing your awareness to your tailbone. Even bringing your awareness to this backside of your body, you may experience a physical sensation. You may notice a somatic adjustment. You may notice resistance or excitement. Just practicing. What I invite you to do is, if you are in a position where you can, bringing your hands to the backside of your hips. And imagining that there's a grand support mechanism waiting to be exercised, waiting to be realized. This is the third leg of your stool of divinity that supports you in all your physical realities, all your vibrational realities. And again, imagining this vibrational tail or support is eager to anchor. Speaking out loud, giving permission to yourself to experience this tail. It may be as simple as I give myself permission. So again, imagining in the space between your hands, an anchor, a tail, the third foot of this stool of your divine beingness. Saying out loud, tail down, and just like those roots, breathing in, perhaps finding some sound and setting that tail down. This will go deeper than your roots. Tail down. And just following with your imagination or your awareness, allowing this to go down. This tail goes down for most of us 15, 20 feet. There are many layers. There's 6 layers to this tail. And now we do again for the second layer. Again, instructing tail down. Just noticing and practicing. For some of you, you may notice a somatic adjustment has just taken place. Maybe a little more uprightness in your physicality. This is a good thing. If you haven't noticed that, it's fine. Have a nice breath, tail down. Using your hands, imagine you can send this vibrational tail all the way down, down, down to the bottom of your structure. 20 feet. Halfway there, noticing what you're feeling in your body. Noticing any excitement or resistance, any familiarity. Perhaps something that feels unfamiliar but good. Again, breathing in, sending down the 4th layer of this tail, allowing it to drop, 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 drop. Using any words that feel right as you're engaging in this process. Breathing in again. Tail down, using whatever sounds want to come out of your body. Beautiful. Noticing whatever shifts and awarenesses are available to you right now. In one final try. Breathing in, tail down, all the way down. Perhaps now taking an inventory of how you're feeling, what you're aware of. How your body is feeling, how your heart may be feeling, how your mind may be feeling. Anchored and aware. And saying out loud to yourself, if you're comfortable, this is me, embodied, grounded, and it's a good thing. This exercise, for those of you who are new to it, I encourage you to practice this on a regular basis. As I said at the beginning of the call, many of us have been practicing this for 20 years, and we're still learning. Some days are a lot easier. A big breath. Inviting you, if your eyes are closed, to slowly bring your awareness back into your room. Noticing what might be different today. Noticing what might be different since we began this exercise. And however this worked for you, you did perfectly well. We have a few minutes. I'd love to hear about how this was for you. If you have any questions. This is kind of a fast format to be doing this. But if you'd like to unmute yourself or enter questions, here we go. I feel way more grounded than I was when I got on the call. Great.
Feel very buzzy.
You feel very buzzy, okay?
Yeah, like my energy is just tingling.
The energy's tingling. All right. Is that a good thing?
Very good thing.
Beautiful, brother. That's great. Yeah.
So I had a bit of an accident today, so I was a little
Oh,
bit, my nervous system was trying to settle
yeah.
once the adrenaline wore off. And I've kind of been wanting to just feel more in my body, like allowing for the shock and the soreness. And so this, I think, opened up something around my heart and my stomach to be more in touch with that.
Beautiful. And you feeling okay?
Yes, thank
Oh,
you.
good. Okay, good. Excellent.
Tim,
That was great.
We'll go Navalin first, please.
yeah, I have a report and a question.
Sure.
I felt really wonderful. I feel like when I get to that level of calmness, it's almost like I'm floating. But then the thing that's the question is that it then becomes actually difficult for me to actually even pay attention to your words. Like you're saying things and I have no idea what you're saying.
I'm used to
The
that.
question, huh?
I said I'm used to that.
Yeah. And so the question is like, is that a sign of like, I'm not grounded enough in the physicality and I'm just floating? So I guess I don't.
Yeah, so I'm going to call you on the enough part. All right. So I don't know that it's not about being grounded enough or being too grounded, but for many of us, these are things that are these very small brains that we're trying to, use to experience our totality and all these other aspects of self are way out of practice with this. So for many of us, and I'll answer this in two ways, and then you can let me know if I answered the question, if that's okay. So for many of us, when we were born, we were fully embodied. We were embodied physically, we were embodied for most of us energetically as well. And through the course of life, oftentimes what will happen is that for a myriad of reasons, we will become disconnected in many cases from some of our greatest resources in our energetic body through trauma, through confusion, through misunderstanding, through heartbreak, or even through excitement. And sometimes what happens is we can disconnect at a very young age. And when we go through these exercises, it can actually activate the central nervous system in a way that, like Karan had spoken about, feeling buzzed or feeling confused. It just, the practice itself is so out of the realm of normality for how our brain is used to interacting, that it can take some practice. So in your case, what I would encourage you to do is to practice this particular technique a bunch of times and see if actually it goes from maybe a sense of floating or how you put it, not being so aware, to a different place where you actually feel a heck of a lot more aware. Does that make sense?
Got it. Yep, understand.
All right. One of the things that I wanted to talk about too, I got a great question. Where does that tail go? Okay, so that tail goes all the way down to the bottom of your energetic structure. In my one of my teachers, Des Zuckerman, who if you haven't seen her book, I do encourage you to check out Your Sacred Anatomy. You can see her online. And as I've said many times, a lot of the practices that I share come from her work. These two exercises are actually in a book that she wrote called Your Sacred Anatomy. I think it's a user's guide to your energetic structure. And I'm probably quoting that wrong. But the tail, in her way of thinking, goes down to our chi pool, where we actually access chi from. And so this can also, Nav, as it occurs to me, this can activate a lot more energy going through your physical body when we interact with the chi pool. And that can also be a little overwhelming at times. Okay, so that's another thing to think about. Practice is going to be a big part of this. And what I'd love to hear, Nav, is after you do this 6, 7, 10 times, if your situation stays the same. I've got a comment here that says, the 6 layers of my tail were amazing to connect with. been doing my roots from my feet, but had forgotten about the tail. So that's somebody who's been around for quite some time. And if that person, who I won't call out, wants to share anything else about that, feel free to. You're shaking your head, so I'll give you a no on that. Thank you. Yeah, Des Zuckerman, Your Sacred Anatomy, An Owner's Guide to the Human Energy Structure. Great book. Definitely encourage you to check that out. We're running a little bit over on time. I've got time for one or two more questions or comments, and then we'll pick it up again tomorrow. If anybody has anything that they'd like to share with the group.
I'd love to share, Tim.
Oh, please, Kaki, sure.
So when I was following my tail down,
Yeah.
I felt my lower core engage in a really easeful way. I've been trying to work with that through different asana practices for a few months now, and haven't had that easeful of a lower core activation as I had when we were doing the tail.
Oh, that's great to hear. Love that. Yeah. The somatic impact on the physical body with some of these exercises can be really surprising at times. So, Kaki, is that something you've been working on?
Yes, that's something that I've been working on, and was really happily, joyfully surprised at that coming online through this practice.
Oh, that's great. Okay. I'm curious if anybody had a hard time with this.
No, I found it great.
You found it great, Sean. That's beautiful. Sure.
Yeah, it was,
You could speak up a little bit.
It was really good. The energy, grounding, the whole lot. I
Beautiful.
was really tense in the core, but it's all cleared up at all. I could feel it grounding through my feet into the ground. It was excellent.
Oh, it's beautiful. So happy to have you here. Thank you.
Good
And,
stuff.
well, thank you. Yeah. I think
That
it's
was great, Ted.
Thanks, Joe. Now I saw
That
a
was
couple people
great.
raise their hands that said it was challenging. I'd love to hear from them. I'm not going to pick it on anybody except, well, Jen Grifford. How was that for you?
I'll talk. So I tend to have a hard time with guided, just the visualizations and stuff
Sure.
like that.
Of course.
I always do, like, it takes me half the time to, like, my mind was racing, and I was thinking, like, I was like, oh, thinking of all the different things that I had on my mind, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to just focus and be in the moment. So it takes me a while to just kind of get into that present moment.
Sure.
So I don't always, so I like Navelyn's question. So I don't know if I'm thinking of it the same way. I tend to hear the words, and sometimes I take it in and I'm able to be present with whatever's being said. And other times I feel like I'm disconnected from it. Sometimes I feel sort of like a combination of, like, all right, I'm doing what they're saying, I'm imagining that. And other times, I don't know if that makes sense. I'm kind of all over the place. It's a process for me. It takes a while. I'm still learning how to do it, and how, I don't know. That was sort of, I shouldn't, you shouldn't have called on me.
That's great.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, visualizations are very hard for me, and I kind of like go in and out. So I just sort of like take with it what I need to, but I definitely, at the end, my mind feels much more clear and much more focused, whereas at the beginning it was like lots of stuff going on.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. Good job. Good job to you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And May, it looked like maybe you had something you wanted to say, and this would be our last comment or question for the day.
Well, I think for me it was really hard. It's like the mind is like a chattering monkey. So yeah, so I think I had the same problem. There are so many thoughts running through my head. It was really hard to focus and to get into it.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I appreciate you sharing that. It's not easy, and a lot of times the like opening with these practices is actually a little bit difficult. So completely understand that. You talk about the monkey mind. I think I have a pack of gorillas in my mind at times. So completely understand that. And oh, great. and hearing from somebody who had a really profound experience here. And a couple of people saying that they got some nice information. So with regard to that, as we engage more with our vibrational bodies, a lot of times the information, messages, thoughts, gifts, offerings from the universe that we've been waiting for can actually find a way in. And so for anybody that really enjoyed this exercise today, I encourage you to repeat it. And for anybody that had a really challenging time with this today, I encourage you to repeat it all. Repeat it as well. And that's it for now. Look forward to seeing you all tomorrow if you can make it. And please, if you all have my email address, feel free to send me any questions between now and then. Also, really important, you're going to feel dehydrated today. Guarantee it. We are engaging with parts of our vibrational body that we normally don't. And the conduit for that information is water from the physical body. I can feel some of you already nodding your heads going, oh my God, I'm incredibly thirsty, right? Drink a lot of water today and tomorrow and so forth. Also be aware that as we engage in this way with ourselves, it is completely natural and normal for, optimistic or not so optimistic things that we've been dealing with over time or maybe not dealing with over time to pop up. So for some people, an emotional response to this or even aha moments or things like that are all very normal. And please bring that into tomorrow's class because we'll have a little bit of time to talk about that. Appreciate deeply everybody being here. Thank you for your patience with my technical confusion today. And until tomorrow, I wish you all blessings and well. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Ted.
All right. Nice one, Ted.
Bye-bye.
Good one.
Thank you, Ted.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks,
This is
Regina.
I got an unstable
Hey,
connection,
Regina.
but I was able to stay on. Yay!
Yay.
Bye.
Wonderful to share this with
You
you.
too.
Thank you,
Hi,
Tim.
Jen. I'm going to have to miss tomorrow because I have a call. Can I pick back up on Wednesday or
Of course
get a
you can.
report?
Sure. And this is going to be on Facebook as well. So you'll be able to
Oh,
read it.
great.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry I missed the first part. It didn't register in my body that it was 11 a.m. there already because it's nighttime here. And I was like, oh, wait, that is happening right now. Cool.
Given that you're 16,000 miles away, I think you did great.
Thank you.
Okay. Blessings, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye.